The 2025 Pokemon season concluded with some amazing moments at NAIC. From Isaiah's Gardevoir winning the Masters division, Gabriel's Charizard taking down the tournament in seniors to complete the perfect season, and a wholesome duel between two junior siblings and their Dragosaur decks where we all won just by being witnesses to such an amazing match. Now, the rankings have been finalized, and the top players in the worlds have one event to go, the 2025 Pokemon World Championships in Anaheim, California. However, if you didn't make it this year and are hoping to make that dream come true for 2026 in San Francisco, you don't have much time left before the 2026 season kickstarts off on July 1st. Whilst we don't know any details yet on the requirements to qualify for the World Championships in 2026, we are seeing the usual league challenges and league cups being scheduled all over the world at local game stores. This means that starting on July 1st, you can start earning championship points towards an invite, and these tournaments will certainly be heavily influenced by the NAIC results. The metagame from NAIC did have some interesting changes from the one from Journey Together, especially thanks to two cards, Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX as a brand new archetype and Shaman as the new bench protection Pokemon with the exception for rule box Pokemon. Both of these cards set the tone for NAIC and were present throughout the tournament and for good reason. And in this video, we will cover the top 10 decks you should either be playing or practicing against if you want to beat the other trainers competing at these stores. Don't forget that you can watch videos 24 hours earlier if you become a channel member by following the link in the description below. This kind of support helps me continue to create content like this, so please consider becoming a channel member if you enjoy the content. Starting things off in 10th place, we have Cynthia's Garchomp EX. The deck has a very solid self-sustaining engine thanks to Gabai's Champion Skull. With this search and thin of the deck, finding the right pieces at the right time becomes a lot more fluid. Garchomp's attacks are very powerful, and Draconic Buster can one-KO most threats in the metagame provided there is some help from Roserade boosting the damage to key numbers such as 290 and 320. Though Charizard EX remains out of range. Fabian Pujol was able to pilot the deck to a top 4 finish to an invitational tournament 2 days before NAIC with some of the best players in the tournament, as well as a top 64 finish at NAIC with a similar list. With support from Monkey Dory's Adrenabrain and Body's Ichipollen to give the deck even more options, as well as Spiritomb as a niche option to dish extra damage, this deck seems like it's only getting started. In 9th place, we have Zoroark EX. Yes, despite Shaman's Flower Curtain completely blocking Darmanitan's attack, Zoroark was still able to triumph at NAIC by having a deep run all the way into the top 8 piloted by Cameron Shenoy. The deck shifted focus to a more resilient version trying to withstand hits with Rigid Band, and then dishing back massive damage with Reshram's powerful Rage whilst having access to Virtuous Flame for solid consistent damage. Combining with Rigid Band is Professor Turo's Scenario, allowing you to heal after tanking a hit as well in case you need to prevent prizes. And we have Monkey Dory's Adrenabrain to further heal and dish out extra damage. With Cyrano and Buddy Puffin as a perfect combination to set up, the deck can still compete, and with some decks not playing Shaman at all, Darmanitan's attack is still a very powerful threat against many of the top decks. Toedscruel EX finds itself in 8th place after outstanding performances from a completely underrated deck by Ray Chen in back-to-back events, managing top 8 at both Portland and NAIC. Toedscruel EX combines perfectly with Tealmask Ogerpon EX's ability to get a lot of energy into play to increase the damage of Colony Rush, whilst Protective Mycelium protects Pokemon that have grass energy attached from effects of attacks such as the damage counters from Dragapult's Phantom Dive or the trapping effects of Maractus's Corner. The non-EX Toedscruel is also quite key as its Slime Cold Colony ability prevents cards like Night Stretcher or Energy Retrieval from getting any resources back, and both of these cards are very popular in many of the top decks. With the support of Bug Catching Set to help the deck set up, Area Zero Underdepths to help increase the bench size and have more energy in play, and Energy Switch allowing for the deck to aggressively attack since the first turn or power up a Toedscruel EX out of the blue, this deck feels very strong and should not be underestimated as shown by the Portland and NAIC results from Ray Chen. At 7th place, we have the most new player friendly deck, Joltic Box. The deck's straightforward strategy of using Jolting, Charge and Crispin to power up powerful threats like Iron Hands EX and Pikachu EX needs to be matched by almost perfect setups by the slow and setup based stage 2 decks, otherwise it's hard for them to overcome the Ampu very much pressure. The deck adds Clefairy to the mix to have an out to 1KO Dragapult EX with a single Crispin, and in theory has most of the top decks covered, However, its linear and obvious game plan can also easily be countered by quickly evolving through technical machine evolution and keeping a board free from Pokemon in range of amp you very much. This is easier said than done though, and this deck continues to find success despite not being the top player's first choice. In the 6th spot, we have Gholdengo EX. Coin bonus makes the deck almost immune to hand disruption, and Make It Rain is a powerful attack that can take down anything in its path. Both of these features are what makes it very appealing to many players, as it plays a similar role to Raging Bolt EX but trades a bit of setup for more late game stability. It is usually paired with Dragapult as a backup attacker with Dracloak for extra draw support. However, we did see a handful of players pair Gholdengo with Pidgeot for more targeted search through the quick search ability. All of these features allowed the deck to have a decently successful weekend at NAIC, and Grant Chen's and Lee Bui's top 64 results show the deck is a very viable and good option in the Destined Rivals metagame. In 5th place we have Eeveelutions. This deck focuses on Flareon EX as a powerful attacker that can also power up our other Eeveelutions, whilst having Sylveon EX for disruption through the very unique Angelite attack. Before NAIC, it included Umbreon EX as a way to KO Gardevoir EX in one hit. However, the new threat of Marnie's Grimmsnarl made it so that most switched over to running Leafeon EX to counter it, and switched to relying on Angelite to help disrupt Gardevoir enough. This strategy proved very successful as shown by Nathan Ginsburg top cut at NAIC with the deck, showing how powerful having so much type coverage can be, especially when supported with a very powerful engine through Noctowl's Jewel Seeker and the support of Terra Pokemon, which include all the evolutions. With Eevee family being so popular and its recent successful run of tournaments even before NAIC, this is a deck that you will likely be facing a lot at local events. In 4th place we have Raging Bolt EX, another of the most successful but also most popular choices by many top players. It was the #1 most popular deck on day 1 of NAIC, and it has been consistently amongst the 3 most popular decks since rotation back in April. The deck is extremely strong, with Bellowing Thunder taking down anything in its path, and a variety of powerful and versatile attackers such as Fan Rotom, Raging Bolt and Slitherwing, allowing the deck to mix things up in the price race, whilst enjoying the consistency and benefits of the powerful Noctowl Jewel Seeker engine. Yerko Valencia was able to get into the asymmetrical top cut of NAIC with the deck, and despite losing there were many other players who were able to find success with the deck as well. With its raw power and the ability to apply pressure since the very first turn of the game, this will certainly be one of the main decks for you to beat at any event you go to once the new season starts. In 3rd place, we have the newcomer Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. Its ability is similar to Charizard EX's, meaning it doesn't have to worry about powering itself up, and the dark typing means it can enjoy the support of Munkidori in the deck sharing the same energy type, with Frostlass, Bodio and Maractus providing another dimension to the deck, making it an almost spread deck and an upgrade to the previous Frostlass. It makes sense that it did so well despite not existing before NAIC. The deck shot to stardom immediately, both in popularity, as it was the 2nd most popular deck just behind Raging Bolt, but also managed to get to top 8 piloted by Piper Lupine with a very cool and straightforward looking list with exactly everything you would expect to see in the deck except for the lack of Maractus. The deck's biggest downfall can be the lack of a Pokemon engine, relying on supporter cards and the Spiked Mud Stadium to set up, but that didn't prove to be a big enough problem to stop the deck from immediately finding success upon release. At number 2, we actually have a 3-way tie, which is Dragapult EX and includes all its variants, the pure version, the Dusknoir variant, and the Charizard pairing. All of these provide different options to Dragapult to help deal with the various threat it faces. The pure version excels at doing what Dragapult does best, using Body to buy time and set up a string of turns of heavy disruption, as well as Dragapult after Dragapult for your opponent to deal with. This version was the highest placing one, piloted by none other than the greatest player of all time, Tord Reklev. His list is pure consistency, and it features 7 ghosting effects, compensating not only for any early discards through Professor's research, but also just making sure they're easy to find for the most optimal play each turn. Ironically enough, he missed Boss's orders for game in top 4 of the event, but his run and his list is remarkable and is trademarked Tord Reklev and what we are used to by him. The Dusknoir variant plays similarly but is more aggressive in being able to take down multiple threats at once thanks to the extra damage of Cursed Blast. Of course, this comes at a cost of giving up prizes, but this only makes your Ionos more effective and can usually be a welcome addition to your turn by having them draw less cards after you play it. A first-year master, Bodie Robinson, was the highest placing player using the Dusknoir variant, showcasing the strength of the deck. And finally, the Charizard variant offers a different sort of aggression, but its main use is having a more direct answer to Gardevoir EX, which, as it has proved since rotation, is the best deck and Dragapult's toughest competition. Having a way to accelerate energy onto your Dragapult is a welcome benefit as well, but having a one-shot on Gardevoir and a bigger damage output threshold than the 200 from Phantom Dive and a powerful single price attacker in Chiyu makes this variant very powerful as well. Both Ryan Antonucci and Makani Tran showed the strength of this deck, and the win in the Japanese Champions League in Japan a few months back in our NAIC format was the first indication this deck was very good. And in first place we have the best deck in the format by far, Gardevoir EX. 3 of them made it into top card of NAIC, and all 3 of them made it to top 4 with a Gardevoir mirror in the finals between Isaiah Bradner and Riley McKay. The deck utilizes Gardevoir's Psychic Embrace to power up multiple Pokemon, but Isaiah's list featured no Drifloon for high damage and instead focused on the formidable combination of Munkidori and Gardevoir to get damage on the board and then make the most use of Adrena Brain. So much so that the deck featured Technical Machine Energize to be able to power up those Dark Energy even whilst under Body's item lock, with Energy Switch giving him the option to use an extra Adrena Brain ability with a single energy attachment. This meant that it was all about Gardevoir and Munkidori with the occasional help from Screamtail, Clefairy or Mew. This unorthodox approach proved very effective, ultimately winning the event, whilst Riley's list was a much more cookie cutter list similar to the Portland winning list with Drifloon, Bravery Charms, and a heavy focus on Technical Machine Evolution. No matter which approach you take though, Gardevoir is clearly on a whole other level at the moment, and it seems like not even the arrival of a powerful Dark type Stage 2 in Grimmsnarl was able to stop it, so what will? Gardevoir will surely be a popular and powerful pick for local events once the 2026 season starts, so make sure you practice a lot against it. And that rounds out our top 10 decks that you need to know or get ready for in the upcoming start of the season on July 1st. Hopefully, we hear more news soon about the upcoming season, the qualification requirements, and the tournament locations, as I'm sure if you're watching this video, you are as excited as I am to get the next season up and running. As always, thanks so much for watching this video, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more top tier Pokemon content. Until next time! If you want to support the channel, you can use code tablemon to get 5% off at Potent Store for your online codes, 10% off for your sealed product at Flipside Gaming, and 20% off for your superfoods at Amaranthi. Or if you're looking to buy singles or sleeves, you can fill up your cart and close the tab, then click on the affiliate link in the description and check out. That way you can support the channel over at TCG Player, Card Market, and Dragon Shield. ¿Eres de México y necesitas cartas de Pokémon? Busca Hyper Beam Cards en Facebook e Instagram. Y si estás en Tijuana, búscalos en el local G18 y G11 en el centro comercial Otay.